Welcome back, viewers, to yet another edition of Autocar India Quick News, your weekly wrap of all things new in the automotive world. Before we delve in, do please make sure that you have subscribed to the Autocar India channel if you haven't already, and do enable the notification icon while you're there. Now let's dive into the news. The top-of-the-line trims of the Mahindra Scorpio N, which are the Z8 Select, Z8 and the Z8L, have been updated with more features for no extra cost. The Z8 Select and the Z8 trims will now be equipped with a wireless charger, and the center console gets a new high-gloss finish. As for the range-topping Z8L, the equipment list now includes ventilated front seats, an auto-dimming rear-view mirror, a wireless charging pad with active cooling, as well as a high-gloss finish for the center console like the other two variants. Furthermore, the midnight black paint shade that was earlier limited to just the Z8 Select trim has now been made available across all Z8 trims. As mentioned earlier, despite the additional features, the update hasn't brought any changes to the Scorpio N's prices. The Z8 Select line starts at 17.1 lakh rupees, 18.74 lakh rupees for the Z8 trim, and 20.37 lakh rupees for the top-of-the-line Z8L trim. Kia has introduced a new mid-spec GTX trim for both the Seltos and the Sonet SUVs. The newly introduced trim is only available with an automatic gearbox on both SUVs. In the Seltos lineup, the new trim sits below the HTX Plus trim and commands a price of 19 lakh rupees. The new GTX variant gets features like ADAS suite, 360-degree camera, 18-inch alloy wheels, electronic parking brake, and rain-sensing wipers. However, features such as Bose sound system, air purifier, and power driver seats have been given a miss. As it is a GT line trim, it also gets a GT-specific exterior and interior cosmetic package. In the Seltos, the GTX trim is available either with the 160 horsepower 1.5-liter turbo petrol DCT or the 115 horsepower 1.5-liter diesel automatic powertrains. Furthermore, Kia has also introduced a new Aurora Black Pearl paint option on the X-Line variant that was so far only available in the matte grey paint shade. For the Sonet, the new GTX trim gets additional features like a 360-degree camera, rear spoiler, and a power driver seat. It also gets GT line specific exterior and interior cosmetic elements. However, it also misses out on the Bose sound system, LED ambient lighting, and the ADAS suite, which are all available on the GTX Plus trim. The Sonet GTX is available either with 120 horsepower 1-liter turbo petrol DCT for a price of 13.71 lakhs or the 115 horsepower 1.5-liter diesel automatic for 14.56 lakh rupees. Kia has also made the Aurora Black paint shade available with the X-Line variant of the Sonet. Mahindra has discontinued the Marzo MPV 6 years after it was initially launched. Sources say the production of the MPV is planned to end within the next 2 months. When compared to its rivals like the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga, the XL6 or the Kia Carens, the Marzo failed to grab the interest of buyers primarily due to the lack of features and updates. Over the course of its production run, Mahindra had sold just under 45,000 units for the Marzo, whereas manufacturers like Maruti sells about 14,000 Ertigas on average each month. But the Marzo was unique among its MPV brethren, as it was underpinned by a ladder frame platform and had a front-wheel drive setup. With the discontinuation of the Marzo, Mahindra will now be an SUV-only car maker. Sticking with the topic of discontinued cars, Nissan has announced that they will begin to phase out the iconic R35 GTR in October this year. Nissan had discontinued the GTR in India and Europe in 2022, but it continued to be on sale in the North American market. As a farewell to the sports car, Nissan USA is offering the GTR in 2 special edition models, Skyline and Takumi editions. The GTR Skyline edition gets an exclusive Bayside blue shade for the exterior, along with blue elements in the interior. The T-Spec Takumi edition pays homage to the Takumi master craftspeople who are responsible for hand-assembling each GTR engine. It gets a midnight purple exterior finish with a Mori green interior. Both models come with carbon ceramic brakes, gold raised forged wheels, and wider front fenders. The special edition GTRs only get cosmetic changes, and under the hood, it is powered by the 3.8-liter twin-turbo V6 petrol engine that produces 570 horsepower and comes mated to a 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Power is sent to all 4 wheels via an all-wheel drive system. These figures resulted in one of the GTR's party pieces, an insane 0 to 100 km/h acceleration time of just 2.7 seconds. As for the GTR's replacement, the closest thing Nissan had showcased is a 1,360 horsepower Hyperforce electric concept car that gave the world a preview of the next generation GTR. The production-ready model of the Hyperforce is expected to arrive only by the end of this decade. Porsche has launched the facelifted version of the Taycan. The Taycan 4S variant is priced at 1.89 crore rupees and the turbo variant gets a price tag of 2.53 crore rupees ex-showroom. However, prices for the complete lineup that includes the base rear-wheel drive Taycan, the Turbo S, the Turbo GT variants, as well as the Cross Turismo Estate version are yet to be revealed. In terms of visual changes, the Taycan facelift is largely identical to the outgoing model. Porsche has given the new Taycan a subtle refresh with updates like new LED headlamps that feature HT matrix design, slightly redesigned front and rear bumpers, and a new set of tail lamps. Both models also get aero-optimized wheels, with the 4S getting 19-inch wheels, whereas the Turbo gets 20 inches. For the interior, the Taycan gets an updated software for the digital driver's display and the infotainment unit, and the option of 2 new leather-free interior upholstery packages. The Taycan comes as standard with features such as 14-way adjustable front seats with heating, 4-zone climate control, ambient lighting, front and rear parking sensors, and a rear parking camera. The Turbo model will also get heads-up display, Bose sound system, and a leather interior package. Beneath the skin, the new Taycan is based on a new 800-volt architecture, resulting in both models in the Taycan lineup being more powerful and faster than before. The most significant updates are to the rear axle motor, which can now produce up to 109 horsepower more than the previous model, depending on the variant. The 4S variant uses a dual motor setup that produces a combined 517 horsepower or 598 horsepower with the overboost function and 695 Nm of peak torque. The high-spec Turbo variant's dual motor setup is capable of producing up to 707 horsepower or 884 horsepower with the overboost function and 890 Nm of torque. There's also a new battery with a revised cell chemistry. The gross capacity for the larger Performance Battery Plus on the Turbo variant has gone up from 93.4 kWh to 105 kWh. Meanwhile, the 4S model gets its battery upgraded to 89 kWh from 79.2 kWh. Porsche claims a range of 503 to 590 km for the 89 kWh battery and 579 km to 678 km for the 105 kWh battery, both on the WLTP cycle. Porsche offers the 11 kWh onboard AC charger as standard. On the subject of the Porsche Taycan, the German carmaker has announced a global recall for all Taycan models manufactured since 2020. Porsche has noted an issue concerning the front brake hoses, with a small number of cars developing cracks that cause brake fluid to leak out, thereby reducing the brake pressure and effectiveness of the system. But the brand insists that it remains safe to drive. Cars that develop a fault will display a warning light on the dashboard. If owners notice a warning light, they should drive their cars to a dealership. If a red light appears, they should contact Porsche and refrain from using the car. Cars that do not show a warning light remain safe to drive. Moving on to news from the world of two-wheelers. Bajaj has launched the world's first petrol CNG bi-fuel motorcycle from an ex-showroom price of 95,000 rupees going up to 1.1 lakh rupees. The Freedom 125 is offered in 3 variants: the Freedom 125 LED disc, 125 LED drum, and the 125 drum. The Freedom 125 is powered by a 125cc horizontally mounted single-cylinder engine that produces 9.5 horsepower at 8,000 rpm and 9.7 Nm at 6,000 rpm. This motor can run on either CNG or petrol at the flip of a switch. The petrol tank has a capacity of 2 liters and the CNG tank can hold up to 2 kilograms of gas. Bajaj claims that the bike can return up to 102 kilometers per kilogram on CNG and 65 kilometers per liter while using petrol, with a combined claimed range of 330 kilometers. Bajaj claims that the Freedom 125 has passed 11 safety tests based on industry standards and Bajaj's own safety standards. The CNG tank is cradled in a trestle frame which acts as a protective cage. Suspension duties are taken care of by a telescopic fork up front and linked monoshock at the rear. When it comes to the styling, Bajaj has given the Freedom 125 a minimalist yet rugged design. The bike is equipped with full LED headlights and taillights along with a set of halogen indicators. A monochrome LCD display that also supports Bluetooth connectivity takes care of the instrument duties. Both fuel tanks can be accessed via a large flap present on top of the tank, which also allows access to the air filter. The Freedom 125 comes with an option of 7 dual-tone paint options that are divided among the variants. Bookings have commenced across all dealerships and on the Bajaj website. Hero has announced that its Centennial Edition motorcycle, that was first revealed to the public in January at Hero World event, will now be available for purchase. The special bike is built to commemorate the 101st birth anniversary of the company's founder, Dr. Brij Mohan Lal Bunjal, and is limited to just 100 units. The Centennial Edition is based on the Karizma XMR platform and features a carbon fiber bodywork, a solo seat, a carbon fiber exhaust muffler, milled swing arms, and fully adjustable suspension. Due to these modifications, the bike has a curb weight of 158 kilograms, which is 5.5 kilograms lighter than the Karizma XMR. Since its debut in January, a few changes have been made. The master cylinder appears more basic, and the bike now uses MRF rubber instead of Pirelli tires, like the Karizma XMR. Hero has announced that the bike will be auctioned exclusively to employees, associates, business partners, and stakeholders. The company says that the proceeds from the auction will be used for the greater good of the society. Deliveries are slated to commence in September. And that wraps up this week's quick news. Thank you all for joining and see you all next week.